Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SavvyCast. This is Jamie, and I'm so glad that you're joining today, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast. I have a repeat guest today who is actually one of my most popular guests. I have Wendy Coupland. She is the CEO of All About Travel, and she is going to talk to us about more travel. Her last episode struck a chord. I think people were ready to travel post-COVID, and now she's got some new and fresh ideas for us. Wendy, thank you for taking time to share with us again some travel tips.
Thank you for having me again. Super excited.
I did this last time, but it was a hot second when you were on. So tell us again, what would you choose as your last meal? That's my typical icebreaker.
Well, Jamie, hot Krispy Kreme.
Mm.
As I say it
Gonna
again.
go out big.
That's it. Hot Krispy Kreme.
Yep.
Don't need them, but love them.
Oh my goodness, that flashing light it draws a lot of us. Okay, well, Wendy, before we dive into the topic, can you give us an idea of, or just tell us why all of us could benefit from a travel agent for any of our travel?
Absolutely. Everybody should use a travel agent. If it's not us, find you a good, knowledgeable travel agent. It saves you in many ways. For one, a lot of people don't realize our services are free, 100% free. It's no extra cost to use us. So you kind of think, why would you not? We can save you time. It's time consuming to book travel. So we can save you time and stress. Saves you money. We get bulk rates on a lot of airfare and other items, so we can save you some money as well. And absolutely, if you happen to run into any kind of problem while you're traveling, we're an advocate for you. So if you have an issue, you don't have to take time off of your vacation to get something fixed. Let us know, and we are right on it to get the issue resolved for you, so you can enjoy your vacation. And we're knowledgeable to know the ins and outs. I mean, it's our job to tell you what you don't know about your trip.
Give us an example, like what's something that we may not think of that could happen that is something easy for you to solve, but that would be quite painstaking for us as the traveler.
Something that seems small, but not if you book a certain type of room and you get there and they're trying to put you in a different room. Hey, that's not what you paid for. It's not what you're expecting, and you should get what you paid for. You may stand there at a counter, especially, if there's a language barrier or something trying to fix this, where you can simply message us and give us just a few minutes, and hopefully we'll be able to get it resolved easier. And a lot of times you may not know where you're traveling. Do you need a visa? Or there are, other documents you've got to fill out ahead of time, immunizations and stuff. So there's just a lot of things that you may not know that could cause you a real headache if you booked by yourself that we would know. So it helps. It definitely helps. And so, if you're saving time, you're saving money, you're saving stress, and it's just free to you. To me, it's just a no-brainer always. We would love to help you, but by all means, whoever, find you a good, knowledgeable travel agent.
Well, you're about to share some really neat things with us. I do want to ask you one question about a travel agent. Does a travel agent do things as small as finding the best plane ticket price, or is that just something that we as consumers have to just keep checking?
No, if it depends. Different agencies do different things, but absolutely, if you're looking for a flight coming up and all, you let us know. We'll definitely keep an eye out to see, hey, when's the lowest fares we can get for you. We typically don't do a lot of just air only. We do more packages and whatnot, but we can do as small as that, just so we can get away to an extravagant vacation and everything in between.
Well, Wendy, share with us what we are going to talk about today, and it's regarding couples travel. So I tell Zane, be ready. I may be giving you some ideas after this podcast.
That's right. Well, I say we're going to talk about couples vacations, from more affordable options to some more luxury type options. And I say, coming up in just a few weeks, Jim and I have been married 30 years. And in that 30 years, we have never let a year go that we did not take a vacation with just him and I. We always do family vacation now, but we made it a point to him and I just to go away. And I will say, I think it's so important. Vacation is
Yeah.
good for the mental health, but it is nice. We get caught up in work and routine and all. It is good to go away, just the two of you, and just remember why what you saw in each other. So
Yes, that's a good word. That really is.
it is just,
Mhm.
it really is, and create memories with just the
Mhm.
two of you. So, and sometimes I know early on when we first got married, we couldn't go on any extravagant vacations. I mean, we couldn't afford it then.
Mhm.
And so, even if it's hey, send the kids to grandparents and do a staycation, I think it's just super important for just couples, just the two of you, to have some time, alone. And vacation is a wonderful way to do it.
Oh, that is a good word. We lead a young married small group, and I look at the kids that we have in our group, and they've got littles, they're so busy. You have to be intentional
You
to
do.
say, hey, we're going to find a place for the kids. We're going to just mark out this time. It always pays back sevenfold. It's just making it
Does.
happen can be difficult. That's why someone like you, I mean, I would just say, Wendy, find us something, give us a few options, because you can fall down a rabbit hole if you start just getting online, looking at places to travel. I'll end up on a recipe site or whatever. I'll get all distracted. Do you want to start with the more
Start
budget?
with some more affordable. How about
Okay.
that?
Yeah.
Just some more affordable options. Sonoma, California. It is kind of a sister area to Napa, which Napa is more expensive. Sonoma is a little bit more affordable. It's more laid back, less refined, but you got a lot of your country inns. You've got some really, really neat secluded resorts, wineries, and whatnot. You got the Sonoma Coast State Park that's there. So some hiking and all. Really, anytime's a good time, but through June to October is really a good season there. So Sonoma, a lot of people wouldn't think, because it's not that far from Napa, but it is actually a more affordable vacation for couples. So that's a really good one. And then if you say like us, and we live in the Southeast, there's some really neat places that aren't so far across country, but there is a really neat resort and winery in Georgia, Chateau Alon.
Yes, we've been there. Oh, I
Yes.
love Chateau. We were actually there on Zane's business, had several things there. Oh my goodness. I love Chateau Alon.
I know, it's great. It's great
Oh.
for couples, and it's not that far, about an hour or so northeast of
Mhm.
Atlanta. It's just really a neat place. They've got a really neat spa. You can ride bikes if you choose to. They have yoga classes, fitness center. You can do tennis. They've got some neat trails to walk. You can do a picnic. They'll pack you a picnic in the basket, and you can go out to the vineyard and just do a couples picnic. You've got afternoon tea. Lots of good dining options there, from casual to more fine dining.
That's an easy driving trip. Like if you
Yeah.
live here in Birmingham or around, and that is a lovely place. I'm so glad you mentioned that for anyone who may not know about it. It's fabulous.
Yeah. And for those that, you don't want to fly, and you even just a weekend, 2 or 3 nights, it makes for just a wonderful couples getaway.
Mm.
So that is a good one. Of course, I don't recommend to take the kids on the couples getaway, but if you want to bring your furry friend, such as Tucker, it is pet friendly there as well. So
Oh, Chateau Alon is pet friendly?
it is. It
Oh, okay. Well,
is.
I don't know. We didn't have Tucker back then, but this is great to know. And
Yeah.
and I will say, coming up in the fall, is that not probably the perfect time to go there? Because
It
you're going
is.
to get some real fall weather a little
It,
closer to where that is.
yes, and outside it's really neat. They've got several neat fire pits and all. So when the weather
Mm,
starts to cool a little bit in the evenings, you can go out around the fire now. So it
mm,
really is just a wonderful getaway that's not that far.
mm.
So, just a good alternative that's close. Another option that is really neat for couples, of course, as well as families, but Glacier National Park. It can actually be more affordable than a lot of people would think. It's got some really neat, affordable lodging options there. Of course, you've got the trails, beautiful sunsets, really neat. Of course, there's some other parks and all that you can do, Grand Canyon, Zion, and some other places, but it can be budget friendly, actually. And a lot of
Where
people don't realize that. And
where is Glacier?
you're out in Montana.
Oh, Glacier National Park is in Montana. Oh,
Right,
well,
and Whitefish is just it's a good little town to have a base to explore the park and all.
oh,
And so it really is neat for couples to go to as well. And they've got some really neat glamping tents. So if you're adventurous and want to try something different, they do have some really neat glamping tents. But
oh,
there
wow.
are some more affordable options there for couples and, just to be in nature and spend time together. So that's a good one. And then went through just a couple others. Tulum, Mexico. A lot of people, it is a very good affordable option. And of course, there's things there from more budget friendly to all the way over the top luxury and everything in between. But it is a very reasonable place to go where you can do a good all inclusive resort that's just geared towards couples. Sometimes all inclusive resorts get a bad rap, but they're not all the same. And if you go to a good quality one, that's where the difference is. And so in Tulum and in the Riviera Maya area there in Mexico, there are some really good resorts that are just geared towards couples where, you've got good food, good drinks, you can do room service, spa, you can have a private dinner out on the beach or island there that can be arranged. So that can be a super romantic, good getaway and very affordable.
I have a question about, and everyone watching or listening is going to say very quickly, I'm not, I'm not an avid traveler because some of these questions may be very, she's asking that, but do you have to have a passport to go to Mexico?
You do.
Okay. And then
You
my
do.
other question, I see every now and then that certain resorts in Mexico have like some violence and I like, do you all have a way to track any level of threat at, well, any place that people might be traveling? I mean, is there like the gold standard of where to check for possible issues with travel?
Right. Yeah. You can, I will tell you if it's somewhere that I would not travel, I
Mm.
personally won't send you.
Yeah,
In
right.
fact, I'm going exactly where I just told you. Jim and I are going in a few weeks on our 30th anniversary. So
Oh, wow.
I feel completely comfortable with it. There are some places in Mexico in that region that I just
Mhm.
wouldn't recommend. I mean, just like anywhere there. And I
Right.
tell people with a lot of times going out of the country, use the same thing that you would in town. I mean, we live, just out of Birmingham, but there are streets in Birmingham or
Yeah.
any city that you just
Mhm.
would use common sense at night that you're not going to go walk down or
Right.
go to. So just as that, I tell people use that same thing
Mhm.
as you would out of the country. But yeah, there are definitely some regions or places that I wouldn't recommend that do have violence and all. Me, I feel completely comfortable in Tulum, the Riviera Maya area. We've been before, have a lot of guests go and
I
no
love it.
no issues. So, but yes, safety is always a thought and a concern. And you can always go on like the travel.state.gov website, and they also will tell you some stuff, but it's good to know because sometimes you may hear something of there was this violence, I'm just going to say in Mexico.
Mhm.
And then once you start really researching it, you realize that, well, from the other areas that we're looking at, and
Mm,
now it's eight or
not
nine
even
hundred miles
close.
apart.
Right, right.
It's like violence in Texas, and we're worried about it
Right,
here.
right,
So
right. It's a
sometimes
huge,
it's
yeah.
yeah. So sometimes when you just hear Mexico, It's not the
Right,
whole
right.
area. So that is something to keep in mind too. And for something that's closer, that's you could just drive to for us that are in the southeast, is sometimes Asheville, especially in the fall, can be
Oh,
a
yes.
neat couple's getaway.
Mhm.
It's just a pretty area. They've got great food there. Of course, you've got the Biltmore Estate, but you've got, a lot of hiking, biking. You've got the Appalachian Trail, and then just the drive along the Blue Ridge Parkway is just beautiful, especially in the fall. So that's another option. If you're just wanting a shorter getaway, sometimes it's hard to, take a week plus and all. But if you just want a shorter getaway and not have to fly, Asheville, North Carolina can be a really, really good option for couples.
If we wanted, let's say Zane and I said, Wendy, we would like to go to Asheville. Can you map out all of our stops where we need to stay, and just handle all of that? Even though we don't have
Absolutely.
airfare, but all that other, where else we're going to stay, where we're going to eat, dining reservations.
Absolutely. We do as little as you want or as much. And I can make you a very detailed itinerary just from A to Z. So, just to make it easy for you. And that half the time with trips like that, that's, it takes time and effort and thought.
Mhm,
And we can
mhm.
take that away from you. So that is the advantage of having a good travel agent to do it for you.
Okay, because I may circle back on that one. I want to go. We've been before, but that is a lovely trip. So we may try to get that on our agenda. So that is
It
awesome.
is. And then I've got just a few, 3 or 4 really luxurious places for couples. The first one is Maldives, which
Mm,
it is definitely a luxurious trip. It's really, I guess, when you hear that, a lot of people don't realize it's the smallest country in Asia. It's made up of tiny islands, more than like 1,000 tiny islands. It's known for snorkeling, amazing diving, just crystal clear water. You have a ton of overwater bungalows, which are really neat to stay. Your dry season there is more really January till about April is a good time to go because it's dry. If you go in the summer, it's a little more rainy season. Of course,
mhm,
it's a little less expensive, but
mhm.
it does tend to be a little more rainy. So you just have to weigh out what's of most importance. But it really does have a ton of luxury resorts with just top-notch service. That really is a neat option, and there's so many islands there to choose from. But if you're looking for really once in a lifetime trip, it's just a fabulous one.
And the over the water, those are the things I think I've seen in magazines. Like you're actually on top of the water. It's like not a hut, but a beautiful, I don't know, for lack of a better word, hut, or
Yeah, it
but it's a,
really is.
that's,
Yes, and a lot of them, there's a variety of them, but a lot of them some of them have glass floors. So when you're in
oh,
the bungalow, you can look down and
oh
just
my
see
goodness.
fish and the ocean. It's really amazing. And you can take the steps right down into the water, straight from just out of
Oh,
the bungalow. So it really is neat. They've got butler service, and it just is top notch. It is definitely a luxury vacation.
and you're probably not ever going to find a bargain there. That's just something to save for, pretty much.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
not cost effective. It really
Mhm.
is not, but it is an amazing experience. And like I said, if you're good with going summer when it's slightly a little more rainier, then you can
Mhm.
get a better deal than, high season there. Another option, which is Italy. Italy can be done more cost effective, or it can be done completely luxury, really as much or as little as you want to do. But it is wonderful for couples. I mean, you have Rome and Florence, Venice, you've got all those places that are really great and so much to see and do. But going out into the Tuscany region is really neat. Lucca is a small town there. It's kind of like a medieval walled city. And it's got
Mm.
it's beautiful. And it's got the cobblestone streets. It really is just a neat place surrounded with a lot of vineyards and all. It's got a lot of little cafes in town. And you can take from there just a little day trip over to Pisa to that area. So that can be super neat. A Tuscany region, super nice for couples, very romantic, laid back. And then, of course, if you go down south, you've got the Amalfi Coast region, which
Mhm.
is fabulous. Sorrento, Capri, Pompeii, down south, Naples, all of that is super neat, beautiful. And like I said, there's so much you can do and see, or if you just want to relax, you've got that option as well. So Italy is a great option for families, but also couples as well.
And you handle, like, if we said we want a driver, we want a schedule, you just have it all mapped out. I mean, we don't want to think about renting a car. We don't want to think, can do it all. Because you
That's
probably have different levels of activity versus relaxation that we,
absolutely.
okay.
You let me know, hey, this trip we want it more relaxing, or hey,
Mhm.
we want to make the most of our time while we're there and see as
Mhm.
much as we can. And we take care of everything from when your flights, when you arrive at the airport, there will be a driver waiting to take you to your hotel. We can arrange any kind of tour you want, sunset sails. We can arrange drivers to pick you up at the hotel, take you for a tour of the Vatican. We can do express passes to help you skip lines.
Oh,
So really anything you want to do, we arrange day trips out to the Tuscany region if you want to go out to wine tastings or to the vineyards or lunch, city tours, fully guided, and a private car to take you. So we can do A to Z. There is absolutely nothing you have to do there.
wow.
Just
That's,
enjoy yourself.
well, Zane went on a guided tour of Rome for 11 days. He can't quit talking about it. It was just
I
amazing.
bet.
Yeah, it was more of an educational. So I did not go. I didn't really want to because he's really into all of that with the history and so forth. But he said, Jamie, we did hit some of the other areas that you would have loved. So we're going to go back when it's less of a learning experience and more of a, just relaxing. So I think Tuscany sounds fabulous. I would think I would love that.
Yes, it is. And the Amalfi Coast, that's a beautiful region too. That is good. Another Ireland. Ireland is a
Oh,
wonderful trip for couples, and there's so many places and ways you can do it. Some people we set up and they like to do a self-driving in Ireland, and it can easily be done. And
hmm.
we provide the itinerary and how long do you want to drive each day versus how many nights and whatnot. So it really can be a good one. And you've got so many different places and things to see there. Of course, you got Dublin, which is a lot of the music and a lot of the culture there. Go out to Cork, you've got the Blarney Castle, the Cliffs of Moher. They are stunning, beautiful cliffs. So those are out along the west coast. But Ireland can really be done more affordable than people think at times, but also it can be done over the top. We can arrange to stay in castles. There's a lot of the castle
Oh,
hotels there that are stunning,
and
just
it's a real
stunning.
castle that they allow people, like it's a real historical castle.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. And it is stunning. So really Ireland, when I put it under luxury, you can do some more affordable options there as well, but there is some really neat ways that you can do it, and it really is just over the top and luxurious as well. So, and that's a really good option for couples.
Oh,
So,
that's,
and it's not a terrible flight. I mean, when
mhm.
you're thinking of going over there maybe 7 hours, 8 hours.
Oh,
So it's not crazy flight where some of them I know when we talk about the Maldives, those are a much
yeah.
longer flight. You're talking 18, 19 plus hours. So at least it's not something like that type of flight. So,
Oh,
but
right.
that Ireland is absolutely stunning and can be a wonderful place to go and see. That is all that I had put on there for the more affordable and luxury. Of course, it really is endless. Those are
Right.
just some that I really have arranged a lot of and had just wonderful feedback from couples. So those were really just sort of at the top of the list. And on the more affordable, I really wanted to just go with just a good variety. Some that if you want to fly to, and then also add a few in there, such as Chateau Alon or
Mm-hmm.
Asheville, some places that, like I said, if you live in the Southeast, you could drive to those. So it's
Yes.
just a good mix.
Well, we'll link to, or we'll make a list of all those and link, of course, to how to reach you. And I want to toss one more out that I want to go to. My daughter and her husband went on their honeymoon there, and they're going next month. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Mackinac Island. Is that
Yes.
how you pronounce it, or Mackinac?
It's Mackinac Island. It
Okay.
is super popular, and in fact, I would put that under probably close to the luxurious ones for couples. But
Yeah.
it really is just a neat place. Great honeymoon option. But it is,
They said it's
yeah,
so quaint.
it is. It's just quaint. It's kind of like its own little city within, I guess. It's got a lot of neat little restaurants and shops, and you can ride bikes there. And I will say that's not on the more affordable option.
Yeah.
It tends to be, I mean, it's not over the top, but it tends to be a little more on the pricier side. But
Yeah.
I have not personally been there, but I've had a lot of clients go and they absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but just good from it. And it's got a lot of neat, some different little like bed and breakfast accommodations and all there as
Mhm.
well.
Well, Wendy, this is so helpful and it's so fun to get to have your professional recommendations. So, we are going to have all of this in the show notes. And guys, Wendy can help you no matter where you are, no matter where you live. You're a phone call or an email or a text away, correct? You'll help anyone, anywhere.
Absolutely. Most of my clients are not local. So, absolutely. It doesn't matter where you live, we can take care of you.
That is awesome. Well, thank you, Wendy. I so appreciate it. And
Oh, thank you, Jamie. I appreciate you having me back.
well, you're welcome anytime. So you think of some more things that to share, and we'll have you hop right back on.
Sounds wonderful.
Thanks to all of you who tuned in. And until next time, you have a fabulous rest of your day. And Wendy, you have a fabulous rest of your day as well. Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the SavvyCast. If you'll take the time to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, that would mean so much. As always, thank you for listening and have a blessed day.